All right, everybody. Hi, everybody on Instagram. Hi, everybody in the Zoom room. My name is Michelle. I'm an autism mom and life coach. I run a group coaching program called the Champions for Our Children Masterclass, and I am streaming live to Instagram to let you know we have started the webinar, the 5 ways that you are unconsciously sabotaging your child with autism. So if you want to get in on this and you want to be able to ask questions, we've got an interactive chat. I want to get in here. I want to talk to you guys. I want to know what your biggest struggles are. I want to maybe even do some coaching if we have time for it. So just check the link in the chat box and you will be able to hit that link and join us live. But I'll stay streaming as long as I can. So all right, without further ado, who wants to hear the 5 ways that we are unconsciously sabotaging our children with autism? Let me pull this up here. Me too, Tiffany. By the way, again, full disclosure, I am guilty of all of these. So just bear with me here. I'm going to pull this up. Everyone who comes live, by the way, on Instagram, if you were there, everyone who comes live into the Zoom room tonight, you will get a free gift emailed to you. So everybody's already a winner. Everyone that's here live tonight is going to get a free gift. If you're in the Zoom room, if you're watching me on Instagram and you want to come in and get your free gift, make sure you click that link and join. Everybody on the list is going to get a free gift. And if you stay in Q&A tonight, I'm going to do 2 raffles. First raffle is a little swag from my company, and the second one is we're going to give away an Amazon gift card. So you got to be here. You got to be live to have access to that. All right, without further ado, let us do our presentation. Can you see Jen? Oh, and Jen and Kim are here from my team. So hi, Jen. Hi, Kim. They're going to be able to help me answer any questions that come up. You can put questions in the chat, questions in the Q&A. I'm going to try and get to them as I go through this presentation. I see we have some hands raised. If I have time tonight, I'm going to be doing some coaching. And without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, can everybody see my screen with the cute dolphin that's smiling?
Yes.
I see it. Excellent. All right. So these are the 5 ways that you are unconsciously sabotaging your child with autism. And I want everybody in the chat to write no shame, because I am guilty of all of this. Somebody in Instagram is asking for the link. Make sure you check in Instagram team to send them the link. So everybody, no shame. That's right. You are here. I've done every single thing on this list. Sometimes I still do things on this list. So this is a no shame room, but you got to have awareness if you want to change. You got to have awareness if you want to show up differently. All right. Okay. So let's get cracking. So you are in the right place if you have a child on the spectrum or you suspect they have autism. You're in the right place if you have multiple diagnoses. If you are in the right place if you have a child or an adult child from 2 to 30 plus. I've worked with children and adults with autism. And by the end of this presentation, I'm just going to move that out of the way. 1 second here. You will clearly know the 5 ways sabotage is happening and how to spot it in your everyday activities and thinking. You will look at your child's future with a fresh new perspective, and you'll be the ultimate educator and feel confident you can teach your child anything. So I'm so happy to have you guys. I'm so excited. No shame tonight. Everybody put that in the chat. No shame. And by the end of this presentation, you're also going to have an identity shift like never before. You're going to look at your child differently. You're going to look at yourself differently. And we're going to rock and roll by the time we're done with this presentation, okay? And also by the end, I'm going to be sharing details on a secret new program that I'm developing, and we're launching it to you guys tonight. So I'm very excited about that. All right. So this is just a quick, I could tell you our story. I have a daughter, Juliana. She was diagnosed on the autism spectrum 1 month after her 2nd birthday. I could tell you the story and kind of boob through it. I'm probably going to be doing some boobing later on tonight as I tell some other stories. But I made a video and I think it's beautiful and I want to share it with you. I remember when I got pregnant with my daughter, I felt so grateful and so blessed. My life up until that point had been pretty rocky. I'd had a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, and I finally thought that I was turning a corner and God was blessing me with this beautiful gift of a child. And I just said, yes, finally something was going in my way. And then when she was born, she was just absolutely perfect. I had all of these dreams and expectations for her. I thought of all the things that I thought she was going to do. Yeah, good girl. Right after her 1st birthday, I started to notice her behavior change. She went from, saying map. She was obsessed with Dora the Explorer, Mama, Dada. She was saying it all. Good girl, say map.
hit all of her milestones up until that point. She walked at 1, she was eating solid, she just, she looked really good. And then I just remember her, it felt almost overnight or very quickly, where her demeanor just changed. She went from this super happy baby to crying and tantruming, just frustrated all the time. And I remember saying to my mom one day during one of these tantrums, like, where did my happy baby go? But I didn't think anything past it. I think I was kind of not ready to fathom that something could be off, even though maybe the telltale signs were there.
Let's try, do you want to do Cheerios? You want Cheerios? You don't want Cheerios. Okay. Do you want...
Dressed. Honey, we gotta get dressed. We gotta get dressed, honey. Come on, time to get dressed. She started to lose the words that she had gained. She wasn't saying mama anymore. She wasn't saying map. She just seemed really disconnected from us. Instead of playing with her toys, she would take them, dump them all out of her toy box and just start twisting them around her hands aimlessly with no intended purpose. I was really kind of in denial about it. And then I remember one day we were in the middle of a store, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, she just started screaming and yelling like somebody had slapped her. I don't even know what the problem was. And I was so mortified. I didn't even know what to do. I was so scared. I literally just left the half full cart in the store, picked her up, and just ran out of there. I never went to that store again. I just didn't even know what to think. And that was probably the first time it really kind of stung for me that maybe something is wrong. They diagnosed her. They didn't diagnose her right away. They said that, she was too young for a diagnosis. I didn't even know what they meant when they said that. I was like, diagnosed for what? I just had no idea what they were talking about. And then they said, we'll come back in if you're not seeing progress. And I said, okay, and a couple months later, I'm watching these speech therapists play with her on the floor. I'm not seeing any progress and felt like she was getting a little worse. And then we went for our 2-year-old wellness visit. And the doctor said that she was behind if she wasn't using 20 words with intent. And that was probably just the knife to my heart. At that point, I really couldn't deny that something was up with her anymore. So then I called the county back in, and then she was diagnosed on the spectrum. And I remember that day, and it was worst days of my life. It was my darkest hour. I could easily say that. As a mother, as a woman, as just a human being, it was probably one of the hardest times I had ever gone through. And I remember just I went from being so happy with God, so thankful, to being so pissed at him for doing this to her and wrecking this beautiful gift he had given me. And for a while there, I struggled to figure out what this meant, or what we were going to do, or how this was going to define her. All those dreams I had for her future were just completely shattered, and I had no idea what was going to happen next. And I went from just hopeful to just complete blank when I thought about the future. One night I was thinking, I'm going to die one day, and who's going to care for her like her mother? And something about that thought just snapped me out of my depression and my anger and my fear and said, listen, we got to get to work here. I promised that when she was born, I was going to be the best mother I could be to her. And that promise hasn't changed. In fact, it should mean more now than ever, not less. She needs me now more than ever. And I didn't know at the time what we were capable of, or what having those changes, that mindset shift for me was going to do. But I wanted to know that at the end of every night, I could look myself in the mirror with confidence and say, did you do everything you could, Michelle, to give her the best possible life? And if the answer was yes, then that was a good day. And I wanted the answer to be yes, 100%. And no matter where the cards fell, I know I could leave this earth saying I gave her everything I had, no regrets. And as I've navigated this world with her and walked away that day after having that thought, I really just grabbed the bull by the horns. I became her fiercest advocate. I'm not a special education master's degree teacher. I never had any formal training in ABA, but I knew that I was going to learn whatever I needed to learn to be really strong for her. And Juliana lost all of her language.
You want to do Cheerios? You want Cheerios? You don't want Cheerios. Okay.
She was nonverbal when she was diagnosed.
Show me what you want. Okay. You want something to eat?
We taught her sign language.
Show me. Juliana, show me. Good girl.
Then she went from sign language to word approximations.
What? Is that goldfish? Okay, and give us goldfish.
Then she started to speak.
Say I did it.
She went from the most restrictive preschool environment. She was in a 614, most restrictive preschool, special education preschool environment you could be in.
Your name is Juliana. Good morning to you. Your name is Juliana. And how do you do? Hi, Juliana.
To now where she is almost 8 years old. She's in a second grade class in a gen ed school, integrated class with typical peers. She speaks beautifully now.
What did you like about the troll experience?
I like when they made me look like poppies, and I like the thing that like touch the paper.
She has a personality. She has conversation skills. There's still things that we need to work on, but for the most part, her future went from black to now having possibilities. And none of that could have happened had I not kind of gotten out of my own way and really hit the ground running and started to take action for her. And I can't say that I could do that for every parent I coach, but what I can tell them is I will have them feeling like I did, looking myself in the mirror, you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I was everything I could be for her today. I have no regrets. And whatever happens, it happens. It's really for us as parents to know we fulfilled the duty that we promised when we had these children, which was to be the best versions of ourselves, to live, to raise these children. I've helped now hundreds of mothers, coach them one-on-one to do the same things I did, to help them to be strong, to help them to craft plans where we're seeing constant progress. This is what I want to do. I want to give you the chance that Juliana's had. I want to give you every opportunity to give your child that happiness.
Dear Juliana, today you are with a day full of happiness moments spent with friends, many good memories to read again, and great times. I hope you will never end. Happy birthday, love, Jane.
So basically, what we ended up doing for her is we ended up teaching her sign language. And within, I didn't think it was going to work. I remember we started with PECS first. And when we started with PECS first, I was like, okay, maybe this will work. And then we'll be able to do this. And then what ended up happening was she had that stim where she would, where she would twist toys in her hands. And when she would do that with the picture. So I'm like, this isn't going to work. So then we ended up teaching her sign language. And I remember thinking like, great, she's going to sign language. She's never going to talk. Why would she talk if she's sign language? And what I didn't understand then, that I do understand now, is if you have thought here and voice here, the neural pathway between the two is asleep. And when you provide the child a functional way to communicate now, which could be sign language, PECS, or an AAC device, it creates a bridge form of communication, and it kickstarts it. It almost like jump starts that neural pathway. And I didn't know that at the time, but I was committed. I said, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. And by day 4, by the end of day 1, she was signing Cookie. And by the end of the week, she had 10 signs. And it was the first, I was so floored because, I don't want to try and get upset here, but I was so floored because all that time I wasn't talking to her because I thought she wasn't with me. And she understood everything I said. And I had no idea. And I hadn't even been communicating with her because she couldn't talk. And when I saw that, I remember my mouth just dropping when she made the sign for Cookie. And I was like, oh my God, she's been in here this entire time. And no shame, right? I didn't know better. I knew as soon as I saw that she could sign, that she understood everything I said to her, And I was like, all right, let's go. She can learn sign language, then we can move forward. And then and we'll send the video out in the replay, but she learned how to speak. It was hard at first. She was making a lot of sounds. She was drooling, and she learned how to say one words. She'd do a lot of vocal scripting, and then she ended up speaking. And she went from the most restrictive special education classroom, which was a 614, it was an autism class, to a 1212. And then I ended up pulling her out of the 1212 and put her in a general education kinder steps program, because there wasn't a pre-K spot available with a shadow with an RBT at the time. And she did really well. And then she was a November baby, so I held her back, and we did kindergarten in a private placement with that RBT. And eventually throughout the year, we faded that RBT, and she started general education in an ICT class, which is an integrated class, which means that the majority of the students are gen ed, and there's a handful in there with IEPs. And they had a finished curriculum, and she's amazing. In fact, she left the ICT program in 3rd grade. This is her 2nd year in a general education class with neurotypical peers. So I just wanted to share with you, what's possible, and that this was our journey, and this is what led me to doing this work now. And tonight's training is really going to be about helping you recommit to the identity of the parent that you promised you would be before the diagnosis came. Okay? All right, amazing. So let's just go right to it, because nobody could hear. So let's get to it. All right, so we're going to talk about workshop community standards. Can you guys see my screen? Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So workshop community standards tonight is, I am number one, I am direct, and you can be direct. I love direct. Let's cut to the chase, but we'll always be respectful of each other and the rest of the community in the room. If you don't like anything I say, you're always free to leave at any time. Fair warning, I curse. I did promise my kids I would give up cursing for Lent, and every time I curse during Lent, I have to pay them $1, and I owe them like $50. So I'm going to do my best, but if you get highly offended by cursing, I'm probably not your gal, and you can leave at any time, okay? If anything I say is triggering, first and foremost, I say things the way I say them. I'm direct. I wouldn't say cutthroat. I like to call myself a velvet hammer, but I say things direct because I want you to win, and I have to get through to you. You've been thinking a lot of things potentially that have been hurting you and keeping you stuck. And sometimes I've got to get right to the point so that I can, it's almost like a verbal shake, like shaking your shoulders, like, honey, look, your baby is waiting for you. They're capable of learning anything. I just got to get you to believe. I got to get you back with the program. So I always want you to win first. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm never attacking anyone. So would expect to feel the same way from you guys in my workshop community in the chat, right? And number 4, this is the big one, very important tonight. Our Q&A and chat box is not a garbage dump. You can't drop stinkies anywhere you please. Please keep messages and questions to myself, my team, and the other webinar attendees respectful and productive. I think what happens is that I'm such a direct and like cut to the chase kind of gal that I get a lot of people that are like me, and the next thing you know, they're like freaking out and they're acting kind of crazy in the chat. We're not going to have any of that. We're going to be loving, supporting, respectful. Not abiding by these community standards can result in comments being deleted and or you being removed from this workshop and the ability to join any of my other free workshops in the future. Okay, so let's go to it. And here's our regular disclaimer. This information, all information in my workshops are not intended for medical and behavioral professionals, are not intended to substitute for consultation with medical and behavioral professionals. Only qualified professionals who know and work with your child on an ongoing basis can adequately assess and supervise a child's program. I always recommend including a board-certified behavior analyst on a child or client's team. This is especially important if your child is in danger of hurting themselves or others. Alrighty, so before we get into the 5 ways that sabotage it may be seeping into our parenting, I want to talk about the big 3. And I have this philosophy called the big 3. And I believe that no matter where your child falls on the spectrum, if they have these 3 important baseline foundational skills, their chances of living a life of independence break wide open. That works for any child on the spectrum. I don't care if they're moderate, mild, severe, level 1, level 2, level 3, any age. If they get these 3 skills, the chances of an independent life break wide open for them, okay? The first skill is they need to be fully potty trained. The second skill is they've got to be able to communicate, first functionally and then ideally verbal. If they can function, if they can create functional communication through sign language and PECS and AAC, then I'm going to work hard with you that we want to get them verbal, okay? And third, we want zero or minimal problem behaviors. And I say minimal because, you know, even my son who's neurotypical can be, he likes to lie these days, and he just got off of being grounded for lying. So like, listen, problem behaviors are gonna always be a part of a child's ability to learn and grow, right? But if it's, when I say zero or minimal problem behaviors, I'm talking about the behaviors that would impede on quality of life. So if you're experiencing anything like that, and it's not making it so that they can't sit and attend and learn in school, and they can't be a functional member of the family, then we need to fix that well too. So if you get these three baseline skills, the opportunity to have an independent life, no matter where you fall on the spectrum, increases greatly. The opportunity breaks life wide open for them. And I'm not like a Jesus loving kind of gal. Well, I am a Jesus loving kind of gal, but I'm not like a holy roller. But I loved this quote. I believe in it when it comes to the big three. And it says in Matthew 7, Jesus said, everyone who hears his words and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on rock. Then he went on to say that anyone who hears his words and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand. If you go out and you get your child any other skills before the big three, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your child's time. They have to have those foundational skills, and then you can build out creating skills from there. Like there's so many times I'll come in contact with a family that'll have a child that can read, can repeat, but they can't have communication, right? And sometimes that just happens, right? It's not like we intentionally taught them to read what we really wanted them to talk. We just didn't have the path to teach them to talk. But we got to work on that. We got to create functional chatterboxes out of those amazing readers, okay? And we have to build out from there. We can't start anywhere else. If we do, it's like building a house on the sand. One bad thing happens, one wave, one storm, and it'll knock everything down. It won't matter, okay? A child who does not have these foundational skills first and goes off to grow into a teenager and adult may learn other things, but it's like a house being built on sand. No matter how it looks or how high it goes, all it takes is a storm or strong wave and it will fall apart. These are foundational skills and they always need to be mastered first. I really want to hit that home because I know a lot of you guys still want to work on that and you need to work on it, and I'm here for it all, okay? All right, so I was sitting in a coffee shop with a mom who was laser focused on suing her school district. She felt that they were responsible for a shitty placement in a special education program she picked for her son that was on the school district's approved list. So in New York, because a lot of school districts don't have special education programs for preschoolers, you get a list and you pick from it, and she picked one, and I guess it was a bad placement, and now she was suing the school district because of this bad placement. And at that time, he had a terrible habit of biting his parents and almost sent his sister to the ER for a bite to her stomach. And I asked mom, in the midst of all this litigation and anger at the school, that maybe for now the best use of her energy would be to fix the biting. And she told me he has some language, he's potty trained, and our goals for Timmy is for Timmy to be the best version of Timmy he can be. And to me, that meant he got some skills, it provided some relief, but being the best he can be meant that his best is different than what I would expect for him if he didn't have autism. Okay? And that's going to lead me to sharing with you sabotaging way you're showing up, number one. You're settling for baseline for your kids on the spectrum. You need to get the big three done. I'm 100% on that. I know some people have already messaged in the chat. Yes, I get potty train done. I need to help with problem behaviors. I need to get better communication. You still need to get that done, but I don't want you just to settle and stay there. It was never intended that the big three, and I've been teaching my Champions for Our Children masterclass. That's what we work on. We work on the core big three. We're going to help you to get your baby potty trained. We're going to help you to get your baby talking, and we're going to help you to stop problem behavior so that they can go off and learn more skills. But it was never intended to be a final stop. It's actually the beginning. And the big three is the ceiling. If you don't have them right now, of course, it's the pie in the sky. It's the ceiling of what you aim for now, but it now has to be your floor once you get it. And you need to start dreaming bigger for your kids. Okay. And this is Marilyn. She's been working with me for only a year, guys, only working with me for a year. When we started, her daughter was in diapers and she was not talking. We got the big three, but instead of feeling like that was the best she could get, Marilyn had a thought. And I'm big on thoughts. If you guys don't know me, I'm big on mindset. I believe not our mindset as parents is 95% of the game for the progress we desire for our children on the spectrum. And she had a thought. Marilyn said, What if she could do this, the big three, and then what does that must mean she could do so much more. And she gave this example of like, if you're climbing stairs and there's a landing, you're happy to be there and you celebrate making that landing, but you can't help but look up. And you have a choice in that moment. Well, I could be content at the landing. We could live a decent life at the landing, but what if there was more for her? And in a matter of a year, her daughter Marianne has gone from pre-verbal to not just speaking wants and needs, but full sentences. She can be funny, she has conversations, and she's a sassy little girl. She went from the bottom of her current program to the peer role model of her class. Mom and I are working on a general education class for the coming school year. This was all working together for 1 year. And we're going to the doctor, would be tears and mom holding her down. She just had her first checkup and she had her first cleaning at the dentist, and she loves going. She used to run away in open spaces. Now she can be trusted to stay close to her mom, and they successfully navigated a Disney World trip in December. I remember taking Juliana to Disney right after she got diagnosed. I lost her twice. Can you imagine in 1 year, this child had that much progress? This is what your babies are capable of too. This is Erin. Erin is from Ireland, and when I first met Erin, she described her son Eli as disconnected, and he felt lost to her. He would tantrum constantly, was off into his own world, and almost had a feeding tube put in because there was very little foods he would eat. She had zero hope for an independent future for him, but it all changed with him signing for cake on the 4th day of her in my program and working together. That was all mom needed to see that he could do so much more. Do you see what I'm saying? She's starting with the basics, right? She's starting with the communication. She started with the sign language. She started with the potty training, right? But within a matter of months, guys, months, he started talking, trying new foods. He potty trained, and he's creating connection with his mom and his classmates in his preschool. And this child was on the verge of being put on a feeding tube. And this is what will happen. We'll be working on potty training. And all of a sudden, working on that structure of doing potty training or working on a structure of teaching them sign language starts to fire other neural pathways in their brain on all cylinders. So where he wouldn't eat before, next thing you know, he was trying new foods without her even having to like do a process to get him to do it. He was trying, he would cry when she left the room before he didn't even acknowledge her. That's why doing this work is so powerful, and you can get fast results with it as long as you stay consistent and committed. Okay? When Juliana was ready to start in a special education preschool, I worked very hard to get her in that coveted school with it was an autism class. It was coveted, the position. It was the most restrictive class. It was 6 kids, 4 assistants, and 1 teacher. And there was only 1 class. So to get that spot in that placement was a big deal. I toured it in February, and she was going to start in September. By the time the class started, Juliana was starting to say words and was potty trained. It would have been so easy to stay in that class. I worked so hard. You guys have no idea. I went there and interviewed 3 or 4 times. They had it. They evaled her. There were so many kids that wanted this placement, and we got it, right? And in February, we signed the paper that she was going to go there. And in September, by the time she started, it would have been so easy just because of all the work I had put into getting her there that she stayed there. But within 2 months of starting, I saw she was the peer role model of the class. So when I toured it, it felt like she was going to fit right in. There were going to be kids that were going to be above her in skill set, and there were going to be kids below her. But then once we started and I saw the makeup of her new class, she was the peer role model, which we never want for our kids. We want them always to have people to learn from and people underneath them. We don't want them to be at the top of the class. And if I wanted more for her than the basics, we'd have to move to another class that was suited for her emerging skills. This required me to give up the spot I had worked so hard for. You know how hard we have to work for our kids when we fight for services. So when something like this happens, it's a blow. I mean, it's a good blow, right? But it's a blow because you work so hard now now you've got to work for a different placement, which is going to lead me to sabotaging way number 2. You're not taking radical responsibility for the results you have now, good or bad, and the results that you want. You're not taking radical responsibility. For me, radical responsibility means I take full ownership of the shit I don't like in our lives, and I take full ownership of creating the life I want for us. Juliana is still a picky eater, and it's always been on my radar to make her a better eater. But then other things popped up, and then I would let it fall down the priority pole. Well, guess what? I'm still living with a picky eater. But I take full ownership of that. I made the big D decision to shift priorities around. It's still important for me to work on. It's still one of the hardest things that we are trying to break through, but I take ownership of the good and the bad, right? I can take ownership of the shit I don't like in our lives, but I also take full ownership of creating the life I want for us. And you guys got to start doing that too. I got to take radical responsibility for the results I love about our lives right now and the results I don't, because I'm a part of why that still exists, whether I like it or I don't. And if no one's responsible, it's no one's responsibility but ours, not mine. It's mine, not my husband's, her doctors, her teachers. It's always me taking 1,000% responsibility for what I have, the good, the bad, and what I want for our lives. And I go back to that reading from the Bible. Jesus said, everyone who hears his words and puts them into practice, right? It's not one thing to know that you should be doing this, but now I've actually got to put it into practice. I've got to apply it to my life. That's what matters. Not the people who hear it, know what they should be doing, but don't do it, right? Have all the excuses in the book why it can't be done. That's where it's not going to work. You have to be willing from this point forward to take radical responsibility. And that means taking responsibility for the shit you don't like. We had a situation with her earrings where it was really traumatic. She wanted to get her ears pierced, but once she got them pierced, she made such a face when they put when they pierced her ears, it like traumatized me. And I remember thinking, oh my God, she's going to be fucked up because, anything that touches her ear now, she's going to be freaked out. She probably would have been fine, but she can feel my energy, right? So I left her earrings in for too long, and one of the posts the skin grew over a post. And now this ear, one of the earrings, her earring almost like the earring hole almost split. She might have to get it stitched. I have to take responsibility for that. It's not my finest parenting moment, right? I had a little bit of a trauma response when I saw her reaction when she got the ears pierced, and I didn't really want to touch it, and I left them in too long, and the next thing you know, I have to take ownership for the good and the bad, right? She's made lots of progress, but we're going to probably have to fix her ear, right? So this is what you guys have to do. I'm being honest with you. I'm sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly of my journey with autism, just like you need to share it with yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly, and take responsibility, and then understand that responsibility, right? You have so much power to do good with it. Don't just take the negative, take the positive. If I have so much power to create a life that we would love, then I want to channel that energy into doing the things that will create that. And most days, and this is the thing, most days I don't sleep through the night. This is my passion, doing this, coaching parents of children with autism. This is what I want to do till my dying breath, right? And some nights I just wake up, my brain's going. And I'm thinking about new ideas to help children and adults with autism to learn life skills they need to live better, quality, hopefully independent lives. And one of the things that's made me so successful in helping so many is I take radical responsibility for the results I get for myself, my child, and I'm always taking action to make my program stronger. Most days, though, right, when I think these things, when things get rough, I put myself in your shoes, right? So if I have a family that's been working with me for a month and their kids still shit in their pants, right? They're pee trained and maybe they're not poop trained, right? I understand that frustration. I would be frustrated too. But the difference between me and maybe somebody who might quit is it doesn't mean in my mind that it can't happen. In fact, I'm like a machine. There was no world in my universe that I was changing diapers past the age of 3. But age appropriate, whatever age appropriate is to get rid of diapers and underwear, I would go to underwear. I was in my mind, in that thought process, I'm never going to live that life. No, come hell or high water, right? And I think what happens with some of us parents parents of children with autism is that we think that the autism makes it so that the kid can't learn, and then we don't make that declaration to ourselves. And when we don't make that declaration to ourselves, we're not taking radical responsibility for what we desire most, which is a potty trained child, right? So when this happens to me, when I get a setback, right, with the earrings, I'm taking responsibility for it. It's like, okay, now I can't put my head in the sand anymore. We got to fix this. We got to figure out what we're doing. And I'm like a machine. I go and go and go, and I don't stop till I get to goal. I recommit, I double down, and I go. So right now with her ear, she's got one earring in. She's got one earring that the ear that we're hoping is going to heal. And if it heals completely, we're going to have to re-pierce it. And I'm preparing her for a re-piercing, but for the trauma for both of us. Okay? And that's taking radical responsibility. And it took me 6 full months to potty train Juliana. Pee came natural, but poop took months because she wasn't a daily pooper. It took, she pooped once every couple of days. So it took a lot longer to get it, mainly because she didn't poop. So then once I did, I finally got both on lock. And then right after we did, she got a UTI. And when that meant is that every time she peed, it hurt. So I had to put her in a pull-up and put her back in a diaper till she finished her antibiotics, and we had to do it all over again. And I knew that. And I knew it just took me 6 months to do this. But there was no place in my earth, my land, my community, in my head that I was going to raise a child that wasn't potty trained. Now, little did I know back then, and if you've ever had this happen, let's say you had your child and they had the ability to potty train and then you lost it for whatever reason, the good news is once it's like riding a bike. It's going to be a little wobbly at first, right? But they get right back into it. I didn't know that at the time, but it didn't matter. I was radically responsible, was going to be committed to getting whatever needed to be done to make sure that this still happens. And this is radical responsibility, to show up and keep showing up until the work is done, right? So what radical responsibility looks like: working on the big three or anything else you want for your child till you get to goal. It means looking in the mirror and believing I am the most powerful change maker in my child's life and showing up as that person every day. Radical responsibility isn't just a nice to have, guys. It's mandatory for blueprinting the best possible future for your child. Okay? I'm going to give you some more examples of radical responsibility. She pooped in the safety swim pool 5 weeks in a row. Every time you poop in the pool there, everybody's got to get out. They've got to call the people that are coming in for the next round of people that are coming in for their swim lessons to tell them not to come, because the pool's got to be clean for 2 hours. She did this 5 weeks in a row. By the 4th week, everybody knew it was her. And I ran into by the 5th week, I was done. I took her out of the pool. Everyone got out. I ran into the bathroom and I cried. I said, we're never coming back here. I waited for everybody to leave. And I remember coming out crying like I am now. And I said to them, we will never come back. She won't ever do this again, or we're never coming back. Right? And I left and I called my husband on the way home. I said, we're quitting. You're shit in the pool. Like, this is the 5th week now. Everybody knows it's her. First couple of weeks it could have been anybody. Right? And I said, we can't do this. And I remember calming down. And I said, there's something about the going in the pool that she feels like that's where she can go. And I know her tells, but her swim teacher doesn't know her tells. So once I calmed down, I thought about it and I said, you know what? If I don't take her back, then she's never going to learn how to swim. And that's not helpful for her. We live on an island. She needs to learn how to swim. And I said, I'm going to go in the pool with her. And that's what I ended up doing. I came in my bathing suit the next week and I said, I'm going to go in the pool. And as soon as I see that she's going to go, like she used to have this little stare she'd do. And I knew that was meant that she was about to poop. And I took her and I ran her out of there. And the first time she didn't go, pulled her bathing suit back up. You know how hard that is. It's all wet, right? Pull it back up, throw her back in the water again. She made the face. I grabbed her, I pulled her in. She pooped in the pool toilet at safety swim, and she never pooped in the pool again. That was very painful. And had I not done that, she wouldn't have been on a swim team today. And which is another example of taking radical responsibility. She was at her first swim meet. I didn't know what the whole thing was about. The place was packed. The bleachers were packed. There was no place for me to even stand. I had to wait out in the hallway. And everyone's watching these kids get on the block to, once the little the buzzer goes off, they have to jump in. She's about 5 years old at this point. And all of a sudden, the coach came out to me and said, Juliana's crying. She doesn't want to go in the pool. And I went in there and she's hysterical. She's really scared, because there's like all these people. And it was like really, I guess, intense. She's 5 years old. And I'm trying to keep it together myself. And I said, you have to do it. I know you're scared. I'm going to be watching. Don't worry. We practiced our breathing, breathe out through the birthday cake. Just do your best. Just get in the water. Even if you don't swim, I just want you to make the attempt. And had we not done that, she might not be the awesome swimmer on a swim team today. And she did that. And I pushed myself in her even when it's hard. And that's the most important thing. This is not like a nice to have. You have to be willing to do the hard things, which is going to lead me to sabotaging way number 3. So this is, during COVID, we thought it would be a perfect time to teach Juliana how to ride a bike. And the first time we tried, she fell once, went hysterical, and said she's never doing it again. So this was her here. This was just a quick snapshot of what it was like. She wanted nothing to do with it. Here's this one too. It was all fake cries, by the way. I could totally tell it was fake cries, but she wanted nothing to do with it. It would have been so easy for me to just not do this. It's not really a requirement to live to ride a bike. But we kept at it because it was never optional in my mind that my children not learn how to ride a bike. After many scraped knees, many falls, countless crying from both of us, About a month later, I watched Juliana ride down the block by herself, which it was only a month later that she was actually riding a bike. Never thought this would be possible. Which leads me to sabotaging way number 3. You resist doing hard things. Okay? Doing hard things is not changing diapers for years. Doing hard things is not just handing your tantruming child everything you want from the pantry because you don't know what they want. Doing hard things is not putting locks on all your windows and doors because if you don't, your child will run away. You resist doing hard things. And here's the thing, right? It would have been so easy for me to say, all right, forget it. We're not going to pierce her ears because, no, because she could have that response. And look what happened, right? It would have been so easy to say, we're not going to learn how to ride a bike. She doesn't need to learn how to ride a bike. Maybe autism makes it, I think I wrote in the example here, she could get hurt and she's an OT and PT, so she's clumsy. So it's going to make it 10 times harder. I could have every excuse in the book not to teach her how to ride a bike. And it would have been so easy for me to do that. But doing hard things is when we take massive, often painful action to get skills that we know that they need for the best quality of life. And it means that we're doing hard things is by learning to be resilient. What doing hard things does for us is when we take fail after fail, which I don't consider it a fail. Every time she fell off the bike, every time that maybe we tried new food and she hated it, right? I never saw it as a fail. It's actually learns. If I look at everything as fails, I'm never gonna stick with it. I'm gonna think it's a quit. I don't look at anything that doesn't go my way as a fail now. I would call it a process of elimination. That didn't work. All right, well, that didn't work. That didn't work. But guess what? The more things I try is going to lead me to things that will work. 90% of the things, if I had to give it a percentage, 90% of the things I tried with Juliana didn't work. Only about 10% did. But if I looked at all of those things as a waste of time, a total disaster, shouldn't have even tried to begin with, I would have never found what would work. And learning to be resilient and taking these and just keep getting these learns will always move you closer to finally what will work. What will for sure get you nowhere is quitting. And doing hard things is fighting back when you feel like giving up, showing that you're stronger than the struggles in front of you. It's about making sure your kid knows that together you can face anything and come up on top. And growth is hard. If we think about change is hard. Change is definitely hard for our kids on the spectrum. Change is hard for any human being. So is growth. Growth is usually a very uncomfortable thing. And if you want to have a thriving life versus a surviving one, the ability to do hard things, you have to be committed to that as well. Okay? So if you've been resisting doing the hard things, you've been resisting seeing pie training to the finish line because you don't want to clean up shit off your walls, or you don't want to have to, shampoo the rug. But like, how is that helping your child move forward if you keep quitting? Which is going to lead me to sabotaging way number 4. Juliana was invited to a play date with her bestie, and the family wanted to invite her to dinner. But Juliana didn't want to go because she doesn't eat Japanese. They were going to a Japanese place and wanted to go home before the dinner instead. This just happened about a month ago. And not only did she not want to go because of the food, she was so focused on that, she was oblivious to the fact that her best friend really wanted her to go. And her best friend grabbed her iPad, pulled up the website for the restaurant, and said, Juliana, there are chicken nuggets on the menu. She knows that Juliana's a picky eater. I don't think she knows, she doesn't know she's on the spectrum, but she knows that she's a picky eater. And Juliana's like, no, I want to go home. There's nothing there for me to eat. And I could see her friend felt really bad, and she didn't even pick up on it. And one of the things we need to work on now with her are her social skills, like reading cues, reading body language, reading eye contact. And it made my heart hurt in that moment because I thought she had, this is autism. I left her at the play date, assuming to pick her up before the family went to dinner, thinking that she wasn't going to go with them because she was just so perseverating on the food, and it just sucks, and I cried a little on the way home because I thought sometimes autism makes it so she can't experience life. And that's going to lead me to sabotaging way number 4. And I'm guilty of this too, that my perception of the autism diagnosis still has limits. And let me pull it up. So the T line here, we call that a T with the colon, that's your thought. And the thought I had in that moment is that this is autism. It sucks. This is bullshit. And I still have those thoughts. It's like, I don't know if it's self-protection. After all of this time being an autism coach, teaching kids and families how to do amazing things that nobody thought they were capable of, I still have these thoughts. And I have to catch them. So I have them, and I still have, I can catch them, but I never indulge. And every time we achieve goals, it's like we climb stairs to that landing, right? Not the top. I want to enjoy the landing, right? I want to celebrate when my ceiling becomes the floor, right? But is there more we could climb? What is waiting there for us at the next stop? Could it be better than the life you're living now? And I have to burn the boat to dust that autism means less. It's just different. And I know this. I know this. I teach this to you guys. I say, listen, I could teach my daughter anything. And I believe this. And I still had this thought. And had I indulged in this thought, I would have missed a beautiful, perfect, teachable moment in real time if I indulged in that thought and picked her up. And I'm always recommitting down the line whenever my brain wants to say something different. And after I picked myself up, and this was, for me, the process is getting faster, right? And this might take you time, right? Awareness is the first gift of all of tonight. Like if you can walk away with anything tonight, know that these things are happening. Know these sabotaging ways are seeping into your parenting, and we need to catch it first. We need to be aware of how it's happening and need to change course. And after I left that day, I was driving home and my brain was immediately like, no, something's not right here. We can't just accept picking her up before they go to dinner. And I called Juliana at the play date. I asked the mother, can you please have Juliana call me? She called me. I said, you're going to go to that dinner. No, I don't want to. No, you're going to the dinner. I'm going to give you pom-poms. So pom-poms is a jar of these little round fuzzy things. And if she fills the jar with them, she gets to go to an indoor play area. And I said, if you go to the dinner and you at least try the food, I will give you 10 pom-poms. And if you don't like the food, she has an Apple Watch. I said, send me a message and I'll come to the Japanese restaurant and drop off a Lunchable or something she'd eat, right? So after I did that, now I had to have a text conversation with her best friend's mother. And this is very vulnerable for me because I had to put myself out there, and she could have said, no, I don't want anything to fucking do with this. So this was the text conversation I had with her. I said, hey, I'm happy to cover Juliana going out to dinner with you guys. I think it's important she go as a learning lesson. They have nuggets on there and she can eat rice. Is that still okay? And she said, oh my God, absolutely. I absolutely will take her. You never have to offer money. I just want to make sure she'll eat, right? So now I'm thinking they're feeling uncomfortable. They don't want to be eating and just having her sitting there, right? And I wouldn't want that either. And I said, she's like, I mean, I don't care what she eats. I just don't want her sitting there hungry if she doesn't like the options. And I told her, well, I think it's a rigidity thing that she needs to work through. And I think it's important she go. But this was so hard for me to text because she could have easily said, you know what, pick her up. I'm not down for this, right? I don't have that. We're getting closer, me and this mom, but this was a reach for me. And I said, I think it's important she go, but if it makes you feel a certain way, I understand. And they said, okay. She's like, I wanted to think about her not feeling uncomfortable. Otherwise, I would have said, your ass is coming. And she's like, I think she'll find things she likes and it will be a fun experience. And I said, uncomfortable is life. Only going to get more uncomfortable as she gets older. And I said, you're an amazing mom friend. It means a lot to me that you're doing this. Thank you. And she said, I love and appreciate your family. And I said, and I love you too. And had I picked her up, she wouldn't have had these memories. Not only did she eat the food at the Japanese restaurant, I could never. If we went to a Japanese restaurant with Juliana, I would have never gotten her to try any of the food. She ate, they cooked the food on the table. She cooked the food with her little bestie. She cooked the steak. They went to Sephora. She had a pedicure. I don't even know who this kid is. She had so much fun with them. And we would have missed out on this opportunity if I listened to thoughts that I have, right? I still have them as an autism coach. So if I'm having them, you're definitely having them. And you've got to create awareness that you're having thoughts that are keeping you stuck. It's making it so you can't do the hard things. It's making it easy for you not to take radical responsibility. And had I just picked her up at 4 o'clock, she would have missed this whole experience of going to Sephora and getting her nails done and eating this food and having this experience, this bonding experience with her. Which is going to lead me to sabotaged way number 5. And I remember this was back when we were in preschool, when we were in the special needs preschool. And I remember thinking we should all, we all work hard, all us special needs parents. I'm like, let's do an overnight at a spa in Connecticut. And I remember planning this overnight trip for all the parents that I knew in the SEPTA PTA for this special needs preschool. So while we're dipping my feet in the hot tub, they were all talking about something called a pooled trust. I didn't even know what this was. And a pooled trust is an irrevocable trust that contains the assets of many people, each held in separate sub-trust accounts. And basically, it's a trust where you can deed your home to the state when you die so that your child is guaranteed a place to live, because it turns out there are huge wait lists for group homes. I had no idea that this thing existed because I never looked into it. By the way, every parent that was in that hot tub with me, including myself, all of our children were younger than 5 years old, and they're talking about signing their house away to the state. Which leads me to sabotaging way number 5. You are not continually surrounding yourself with the best community. And I don't hold this against them. One of the best things about the autism community is when you meet another autism mom, it's like, girl, or dad, right? I get you, you get me. And that's one of the most beautiful things about it. It's humbling how welcoming it felt when I was in early intervention and I was struggling with a diagnosis by myself. And I come into the world and I meet these wonderful moms. They're not bad people. But the problem with a lot of this community is they're not forward thinking. Why would you even put it in the universe? We have preschool age children that you're preparing to give away your home because you already believe that they're never going to make it. They're never going to make it on their own. You can't be around that type of community. You can't be alone either. That's just as bad as being in this community. And I love these parents. I love all autism parents. I get you. I feel you. I do. But you cannot show up like this. And you cannot, as a parent who wants the best for their child, surround yourself with a community like this. Good community neutralizes our beliefs that we're the only ones going through this. That's one of the best things about this. Good community, though, can offer us advice when we're stuck. Not say, yeah, you're having a shit day. I am too. Let's be in the shit boat together. Instead of problem solving. Hey, what worked for you? Hey, I'm trying to help him with pie training. And I see you further on. What are you doing? What are you working on? What aren't you? Nobody talks like this in this community. All we want to talk about is how hard our lives are and how awful this is. And boy, I'm glad I know you because we could both be in the shit pool together. That's not community that's going to help you to show up as your best for your child. Good community can keep us from quitting on our kids. I think that's huge. You need a good community so that you don't quit when it gets hard, when you have to take responsibility for the good and the mistakes that you've made, when you got to recommit, when you've got to chest out those thoughts. You need a community that's going to stop you from quitting on your kids. And good community can teach us when we're going through the same things. A community that, hey, I'm trying to I see this all the time in Champions, right? My current program. I'm potty training and this mom just finished. They can camaraderie. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to try that. That's such a great idea, right? You're with people who are thinking like you, who want the same things for their children. Nothing beats that. Nothing helps support good accountability, good community. And you need a warrior community where we defy statistics, where we are no longer the exception, we're creating the rule. And it's normal to celebrate play dates. It's normal to have sleepovers, vacations, sports, extracurricular activities, camp. We want to make this possible. I want to make this possible. I want every child on the spectrum to have all the opportunities available to them. And as far as I'm concerned, you have 2 options of where you go tonight. The first option is you could take everything you've learned tonight. You could look at all the 5 ways that you're not showing up and recommit yourself down the line. You know what, Michelle? I didn't realize I was having limited beliefs about autism. I didn't realize I was surrounding myself, either I'm doing this alone or surrounding myself with shit community. I didn't know I was not taking radical responsibility. I didn't know I was doing hard things, right? I could take all of that, right? And I could try and do this alone. And I'm maybe going to get a lot of the results I'm getting now, right? I could be frustrated and exhausted. Or you could do option 2 tonight. Be a part of a badass community of doers that will support you and ride with you the entire way, where we set the standard that your child can have an amazing life and have autism. That's what I believe about Juliana. And I'll tell you something. I believed until kindergarten that I could cure her of her autism. That was not accurate thinking, but I'll tell you something. I don't regret it because I showed up like a fucking boss. There was nothing I wouldn't do. Nothing, no train that would stop me. I was like a Porsche with no brakes, right? I would do everything I could to make that a reality. And once I realized, it became very apparent to us in kindergarten that autism was here to stay, and that as she grew up, she's going to have age-appropriate problems with the side of autism. And it definitely took the wind out of my sails. And I said, okay, but what if she could have autism and live an amazing life? And that's what I've been living since then. Instead of trying to think I could cure autism, she can have autism and she can live an amazing life. So I'm leaving you here tonight with two options. Option one, you can do this alone. You can take the 5 ways that you're sabotaging, correct them, and go off and implement and be alone doing it. Or we could be a part of a community together. Tell me in the chat, option 1 or option 2. What would you rather? 2, option 2. There are no doers community where I live. Me either, honey. I gotta tell you, I still don't know anybody in my community, like in my neighborhood, that is like me in the special education world. 2, 2, 2. I love it. 2, option 2, girl. You got it too. I love it. All right. Well, then I have something very exciting to share with you. I'm very excited about this. Obviously, I'm excited to announce I have a new program that I am about to launch tonight to you guys first, and it is called Next Level Autism. Next Level Autism is a monthly membership where we'll work together on the next level things your child with autism will need to continue to thrive. This membership is for you if you've mastered the big 3 and are ready to dive deep into the work I've done and I'm currently doing with my daughter, Juliana. What makes this membership so special is I'm living this life now. We're going to next level our babies together. So I've been running Champions for Our Children for the last 4 years, and I absolutely love it. I love helping parents believe possibility is there when they didn't believe it beforehand. I love holding the torch of belief until you can grab it from me, right? And we work together and we get those baseline skills. This really excites me because I'm living next level autism. I've been living next level autism with my daughter since she was 5. All of the examples I gave you tonight are next level things that we're solving and we're still solving. We just told her about the changes. She's 11 years old. Puberty could happen at any minute. We just told her about her body changing. I'm going to get to share that with you. Like, hey guys, this is what I'm working on. This is what I've taught her up until this point. I'm going to share not only the experiences of the next level things I've already accomplished with her and how I did it. You're going to watch me do next level things with her, teach her next level things now. I just had her IEP meeting today. Very emotional. It's always very emotional for me. I think I'm getting better. I cried, didn't cry as much as I usually do, but I cried, but because she's going into middle school. This is such uncharted territory, and you're going to be with me as I go through this, and you're going to see how we navigate it. How I'm teaching her, how I bought her a combination lock so she can learn how to do the lock before she gets to middle school and does the locker. How she's going to handle peer pressure. How she's going to handle getting the changes. You guys are going to be witnessing that and doing that when you join this membership with me. And because you're here tonight, you're being invited to be a founding member of Next Level Autism because this is a brand new program that I've created where you're getting exclusive pricing and working with me as I build this program out. You're a founding member. That means you start from, like, if you look at Champions has been running for 4 years now. I have a full study vault, all the different courses around potty training, communication, problem behaviors, picky eating, you name it, it's in there. And hours of content in that study vault. We're going to be creating the study vault from course 0. I have not one course in there yet, but we're going to be building it out together. That's what a founding member launch is. It's so exciting because we're going to be doing this together and you're going to be on the ground level with me. And what this means, you're going to be on the ground floor and we're going to be embarking on this journey together from the start. And I'm going to be doing this with you. This is what Next Level Autism is. It's my life right now. I did Champions. I did all of the things. I potty trained my girl. I taught her how to communicate when she lost all her language. I helped solve her problem behaviors. We still have some problem behaviors, right? And I love that work. But I never intended that to be the only work we do. Next Level Autism is my life. It's been what I've been living for the last, what is it? She's going into 6th grade. I can't believe it. The last 6 years. And I'm going to be able to share what I've done and how to help and share what I'm going to be doing with you. So when you join Next Level Autism membership, this is what you're going to get. First thing you're going to get is a weekly grouping coaching call with me. I'm an autism parent like you. I've already begun my journey into Next Level Autism. On our weekly calls, I'll be sharing with you what I've accomplished with Juliana, past the big 3, as well as what I'm working on to keep us all moving to the next level. Middle school is just around the corner for us, and we're about to hit the teen years. You'll learn what I've done to get to this point, and I'll show you how I'll navigate what's coming. And I'm going to make mistakes, and you guys are going to experience it with me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Listen, I have a big snafu with that earring, right? You're going to be with me as I solve that problem I created, right? And we're going to be doing this program together, which is it's scaring me, giving me anxiety, but I'm also excited because I've been alone too. I mean, my champions group is my moms and my babies and my grandmas and my dads, for all the dads that are here tonight. And they are my people. But now I'm going to be with the people that are going to be working on the same things as me. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm nervous and I'm excited. Also, when you join the Next Level Autism membership, you're going to get a weekly mindset call. This is all group coaching, and you're going to have a rock solid mindset is key. If you don't already know that, this is my belief, right? One of the things we do is we're thinking that the autism diagnosis has limits, right? We got to change that thinking. Mindset is key to excelling at what's to come in the neurodivergent parenting experience. You're going to get to share your pains, your thoughts, and we're going to create powerful, intentional beliefs that we can build upon now that you have the big three in place. In addition to that, when you join Next Level Autism, you're going to get to talk to a BCBA each week. If you're not getting ABA, you gotta. I love it. It's become a part of my DNA. I believe behavioral therapy is the fluent language of our children, and I swear by it. Made me a better parent, not just to my daughter, but my neurotypical son. We have 2 BCBAs who have specific experience with children, teaching children with autism the skills past the big three. Melissa here has had over 30 years of experience, even taught her neurodiverse nephew how to drive a car. I'm excited to hear how she's going to teach us how to do that. We're a couple of years away from that, but I'm excited. I'm very nervous for Juliana to drive a car, so I'm excited to figure out how Melissa teaches it. And Stacy works in a school with high-functioning autistic students, and she's going to break down the step-by-step process on how to teach things like going to the dentist, puberty. I'm all about that. Cooking, riding a bike, and so much more. In addition to that, when you join, you're going to get a monthly teen coaching call with Janine. She's a teen coach. She coaches parents of children, of neurodiverse children, and she's going to answer your questions about raising neurodiverse teens, how to manage those teen emotions, and win at the game of parenting so you both can have a painless journey from teen to adult. Listen, Juliana's temperamental now. So, you know, I can't imagine what the teen years are going to bring to us hormonal wise. And now I've got that with the side of autism. I can use this support. I need to know how to, I'm always thinking, you know, in driver's ed, right? In driver's ed, when you take it, the instructor always says new drivers always look at the road right in front of the car. Experienced drivers look miles down the road. And that's kind of how I've always thought. And even now, I know that we're gonna hit some bumpy weather with Juliana when it comes to becoming a teen. And this is the make or break moment, not just for parents of neurodiverse children, but for neurotypical children as well. So having this support, even for me, I'm going to be on these calls listening and learning as well. In addition to that, we're going to bring Armando into Next Level Autism. If you don't know Armando, I call him my Elvis of my community, because Armando is a behaviorist, so he's a BCBA just like Melissa and Stacy, but his experience is a little different. Armando was diagnosed with severe autism at the age of 2. His mother was told he would never speak. Armando learned how to potty train when he was 5. He learned how to speak when he was 7. He was in life skills classes till grade 2. He went on to general education classes from grade 3 to high school, graduated high school, went on to college, got his master's degree, got married 2 years ago. We're going to be able to actually tap into the mind of a neurodiverse adult, ask him all the questions that we might be thinking, because he's lived that life. He went from what they thought a future that wasn't possible to living a life beyond the expectations of what the professionals told his mother. He got married 2 years ago. He owns his own company. Why couldn't this be possible for my daughter, for all of your babies? And you're going to be able to tap into his brain once a month as well. In addition to that, when you join Next Level Autism, you'll also get my study vault. I have a growing study vault over the next coming months and years. I plan to grow this out. We're going to grow it out together because this is a founding member launch, and you're going to be learning. We're going to be building out the study vault. I'm going to be taking advice from you, all the people who joined tonight. I'm going to be sending you an email. I want to know what you want me to teach you first. And Next Level Autism, we're going to build it out from there. I have great ideas. I have ideas of we're going to teach hairbrushing, toothbrushing, showering, getting dressed, ear piercing, washing clothes, folding clothes, picking out matching clothes. This is a big part of us. Making our own breakfast, going to the dentist, going to the doctor. We're going to talk about conversation skills, advanced conversation skills, past wants and needs, right? I want to know what you did at school today. I want to help you learn how to make friends. I'm going to teach you how to understand sarcasm, peer pressure, how to help yourself in those sticky situations. Juliana had a situation where she told something in private to a little friend at school, and she told the whole class. And she was all jammed up, didn't know how to handle that. I'm going to help you and tell you how I helped Juliana so you can help your child through these things too. And we're going to do self-advocacy skills. This is all on my list of what I want to do. I want to do self-awareness, perspective taking, time management. We got her the Apple Watch so she can start managing her time better because she's going to be changing classes next year. Where it's all right, you want to go out and play? Okay, you're going to have to come in 15 minutes instead of her relying on a timer. She's going to look at her watch. She's going to be responsible for her own time. These are the next level things. I'm so excited because I'm not going to do it alone anymore. I'm going to be doing it with you guys, and we're going to learn together. In addition to that, you're also going to get access to Ask a Coach. So if you ever can't make a call, if you don't get your question answered on a call, we have a new web portal called Ask a Coach. You're going to have access to this. I'm answering questions in there. My coaches are answering questions in there. You could ask multiple questions a day. You can ask a question a day. I even encourage it. And you're going to get one-on-one help as you go through this process. And we answer within 24 to 48 hours. Everyone gets individualized coaching tailored specifically to you and as often as you need it. So if you join me during this founding member launch, I'm offering you also 3 special bonuses. So if you join me tonight in Next Level Autism, I'm going to offer you 3 special bonuses. Number 1, you're going to get my first piece of swag from my company, the Champions for Our Children mug. On this side it says Champions for Our Children. On the back it says different, not less. You join Next Level Autism membership tonight, you will get this mug. In addition to this, you will also get my book club. There's 3 books I picked for my book club. It was very hard for me to pick 3, but these 3 are core to making me the monster, or somebody said cutthroat that I am today. I like called Velvet Hound, or somebody in here called it cutthroat. I'll take it. Atomic Habits was one of my favorite books. Broccoli Boot Camp, I swear by that. She would never try a new food. We'd probably just be on chicken nuggets and turkey sauce for the rest of our lives if it wasn't for Broccoli Boot Camp. I'm going to send you that, and I'm also going to send you, which you would never think this would be my book, but I love this book because whether you believe in God or a higher power or you're spiritual, I always believe, like, when I don't know the answer and I'm really frustrated and I'm scared, that God is never not taking care of us. And I remember thinking when she got diagnosed, I was really mad. It's like, you took this beautiful baby and you wrecked her, and I remember imagining, like, that time it was 1 in 66 children were diagnosed on the spectrum. And I imagined these bassinets in the nursery at the hospital and this grim reaper just counting and landing on her. I remember thinking in my head, like, why would he do this? And I didn't understand it at the time, and I was so angry. But then I kind of got out of my own way, and I said, if I'm going to die one day, who's going to care for her like her mom? And I know what I could do. I had no idea what the future held for her, but I knew that if I believed in God, right, and there was a heaven, and he's going to play back the reel of my life before the gates, right before he lets me in, was I going to be happy with what I saw? And I knew in that moment, whether I could help her or not, I didn't know what I could do, but I would show up every minute of every day, giving her everything I got. And something about this book, it kind of just says, like, my relationship with God has changed since she was diagnosed. I used to be really pissed at him. Then I'd say, okay, listen, I'm going to start working with her, but can you just, throw me a bone here and there, like kind of just work in parallel. We don't have to love each other, but can we just work in parallel? To where my thinking is just completely evolved now to, like, okay, what if this was sent to me on purpose so I could heal my girl, and then I could help so many other families do the same for theirs. And that's where I am with this now. And if I think about that, if I had a choice, I wouldn't have gone this route, obviously, but if I had a choice, I wouldn't have. But I understand that God's got a higher power, whatever you want to call it for yourselves, I believe has a purpose for all of us. And once we find that purpose, it is our responsibility for the beautiful life he has given us to share it with the world. And that's why I do this. And that's why I put out so much out there to help as many families as I can. So if you join Next Level Autism, you're going to get my book club, you're going to get my swag, and you're also going to get a founding member price. Because I don't really have a program and I'm going to be building it out with you over the next year, you're going to get a price that's exclusive to everyone who is here tonight. And this is going to be your forever price. So if you decide to join, it's never going to change as long as you have an active membership in Next Level Autism. On April 3rd, I am launching this to the public at a much higher price. This is the only time I will offer it at this price. And once you lock it in, it's your forever price. In 10 years, it's your forever price. As long as I'm running it, and then my prices are probably going to increase over time, your price will never, because you're a founding member. So when we go to the public, when we officially announce the full launch of Next Level Autism, probably May or June, we're going to be selling it for $3,000 for 12 months or $275 a month. But that's not what you're going to pay tonight. You join Next Level tonight, you're going to be a founding member. You'll be joining from the ground floor, because you are my people. And I love deals. I love Black Friday shopping. And you are able, you're going to be with me as I build this out. If you join tonight, you're going to get a special price, and you're going to get the bonuses I just mentioned, which is for tonight only. If you join Next Level Autism, it's $19.97 for 12 months. If you prepay 12 months, you save, or it's $227 a month. And that's for tonight. And there's the link to join. Jen's also going to put it in the chat. Now, here's the big question that I know you're all going to have. Next Level Autism is about teaching the skills beyond the big three. And I know a lot of you may still need the big three. So what do I do if I want to join Next Level Autism, but I haven't gotten the big three done yet? For tonight only, I'm never going to do this again, but because I want to serve, and I know so many people are here and they identify with what I'm offering, I'm going to offer you an Autism, the Ultimate Champion Autism Support Bundle. And that is giving you access to Champions for Our Children Masterclass, as well as viewer access to Next Level Autism. Before this year, Champions for Our Children Masterclass was a 90-day group coaching program. And I believed, and this is how it's been, we have a 100% success rate for the families that are active, do the work in that community. After 90 days, they walk out with a child that's fully potty trained, fully communicative, right? They can express wants and needs. Even if one word wants and needs, they can walk out with, right? Here's the thing. I never intended that to be the last stop. That was just the right. It was the ceiling became the floor. Once we get the basics, we've got to move on. And that's what Next Level is all about. So if you want to join Next Level tonight, but you really can't be an active member because you need to work on the big three, I'm going to offer you tonight the option to get the 2 programs in a bundle. So basically, you'll be an active member in Champions for Our Children. We're going to work fast. We're going to sprint that 90 days to get your child what they need so that you can be a full active member in Next Level Autism. So when you join, you'll have full access to the Champions for Our Children Masterclass, and you'll have access to the Next Level Autism Study Vault call recordings so we can celebrate you getting the big three and make you a full active member. So I expect that anyone who decides to take the bundle tonight will come, get what they need, and come right into Next Level Autism for the rest of our time together. So so you're going to pick tonight the program that's right for you. So your first option is if you've got the big three. So the big three is like my child's fully potty trained, problem behaviors are not impeding on our everyday life, and they could even I'll even take word approximations, right? They can report, like if they're in front of the pantry and you say wah, 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 and they can say wah, wah, and you give them, you're in Next Level Autism. And this is your program, and this is what you join. But if you need potty training, you need communication, you need problem behavior, and you love what Next Level Autism has to give, I'm going to give you viewer access to Next Level Autism, and you're going to join the Champions for Our Children program tonight, where we are going to get that big three done. So you're going to get 2 programs at a special price. If you join tonight, you'll get Champions for Our Children. You'll be a full member in there. We're going to get potty training. We're going to get the communication down to those word approximations, if not full on words. We're going to stop that problem behavior so we can welcome you as a full active member of Next Level Autism. And when you join Champions for Our Children, this is what it looks like. It looks very similar to Next Level Autism, but the conversations are going to be a lot different. We're going to be working on potty training. We're working on potty phobia. We're going to be working on PECs or AAC devices or sign language. We're going to be working on problem solving, problem behaviors. But it's 3 to 4 group coaching calls a week. It's just as intensive as Next Level, but you're going to get to get a taste of Next Level because you're going to be a part of that as a viewer. So you're going to get to see what we're working on. You can see what to look forward to, why you should recommit anytime it feels hard. Big three is just the beginning. It's just the beginning, guys. And I need you to build up that strength. I need you to get those reps so that you have that stamina, so you can do hard things on lock for the years ahead that we'll spend together in Next Level Autism. So when you get the bundle, you're going to be a full active member of Champions for Our Children. That includes a weekly call with me. You're still going to get to talk to me, but now we're going to be talking about getting the big three done. You're going to get to talk to a mindset coach because I know you're having thoughts. It's keeping you stuck. If you don't have the big three yet and you've been in this club for a while and you want to get out, we got to figure out what's going on in here and help you so that we can get you thinking great things that are going to keep you on the path towards progress. You're still going to get to talk to the behaviorist and Armando, and we have specialist calls in there specifically to help you get the big three done. We have a problem behavior specialist. We have a speech language pathologist that's an autism mom that you're going to be able to talk to. We have a dietitian that's an autism mom because some of our kids have gut health that's connected with their cognitive ability. We have an occupational therapist you'll get to speak to, a feeding therapist. There's the study vault. When you join Next Champions for Our Children, this program has been established. It's been up and running for years, and you're going to have access to it. And you're going to have access to ask a coach in there as well. And on top of all of this, if you want to stay motivated and you want to know what's next, you're going to be able to get that viewer access to Next Level Autism. And I can't wait to get the big 3 done with you so we can celebrate and welcome you as a full active member in Next Level Autism. So you have 2 options to pick from tonight. You're going to pick the program that's best for you. Option 1, if your child already has potty training, if your child can make word approximations, right? Functional word approximations for wants and needs, or one-word utterances, and they have no problem behaviors that are impeding on life. Listen, I expect children, all children, to have behaviors, and we're going to address them as they come. I'm talking about a behavior that is a safety concern, a behavior that's constantly coming up, that's making it difficult to function in daily life. If that's the case, you are a perfect candidate for the Next Level Autism membership. Tonight only, the founding member price for that is going to be $19.97 for 12 months. If you pay 12 months in advance, you're going to save, or it's $227 a month. If you don't have potty training done, or you don't have a child that's communicating functionally yet, or you have a child that's you're struggling daily with problem behaviors, then I want to welcome you to get the bundle. You're going to get the Champions for Our Children bundle. You're going to get 2 programs at a crazy, ridiculous price. You're going to be able to have access to me and all of my coaches. It's just going to be, the conversations are going to be all around the big 3, but you're going to get to taste what it's like to be in Next Level. You're going to get viewer access to know what's coming, to keep you motivated. You're going to teach your baby how to ride a bike one day. You're going to teach your baby how to make friends and have a sleepover one day. But we got to get the foundational done first, and that's what this bundle is all about. Okay, so you're going to pick the program that's right for you. Okay. Here are your 2 options. And of course, if with either program you pick, whether you're a Next Level Autism candidate, great, welcome. We already have our first members. I'm so excited for this. Or Champions for Our Children, wow, great. We already have a ton of families that are in there, active, potty training their kids, teaching their kids to talk, teaching their kids to use the PEC system, AAC device, sign language. We have it you covered no matter where you are. You're going to pick the program that's best for you. And no matter which program you pick, you're going to get the bonuses. You're going to get my mug. You're going to get my book club, and you're going to get the special price for you guys tonight. And here's the link to join. Jen's going to put it in the chat as well. Now, listen, most of you know the next step, it would be totally to enroll. I would love to have as many families as I love this work. I will do this work till my dying day. And most of you know that you should be saying yes right now. This is like killer. I'm never going to offer a bundle again. I'm never going to offer Next Level at this price again. But even if you can't sign up tonight, due to any circumstances, you have plenty of work to start right away. The name of this workshop tonight were the 5 ways you're unconsciously sabotaging your child with autism. And if you can't join me tonight, you can start this work now. Stop settling for baseline. Take radical responsibility for the results you want. Stop resisting doing hard things. Stop thinking the autism diagnosis has limits. Autism is different, not less. There's nothing that my son can learn that is neurotypical that my neurodiverse child can't learn as well. And surround yourself with the best community. Stay in my fucking sphere. I will always keep you. I always got your back, whether you're in my programs or not. So you're going to pick the best program that's right for you. If you got the big 3 done and you're ready to go above and beyond the basics, get advanced conversation skills, life skills, self-advocacy skills, and more, you're going to join Next Level Autism membership, and I'm going to be so excited to have you. It's $19.97 for 12 months. If you prepay 12 months, it's even cheaper than taking the monthly option. But if you like the monthly option, that's why I put it there too. Or it's either $19.97 for the 12 months you're in, or it's $227 a month. Or if you're not ready, but you love Next Level Autism, but you want to get your child the big 3 and you want to work with me to do it, I want to help you do it. You're going to get the Champions for Our Children Next Level Autism bundle. We're going to get potty training done. We're going to get those basic communication skills unlocked. We're going to get those behaviors under control so I can welcome you as a full-fledged member in Next Level Autism. So you're going to join the masterclass, the Champions for Our Children masterclass. You're going to get whatever you need for your child in there. We're going to give you viewer access to Next Level Autism so you can get excited about what's coming. And let's get this done. 90 days. There's no reason why we can't sprint to get you ready, get you to spend the rest of your time with me in Next Level Next Level Autism. All right, here's where you're going to join.
So I guess
I am going to forego doing this. I'm just going to take a quick second. I'm going to just take a quick minute. I'm just going to go check on my kids, and then I'm going to come right back. I want you guys to put any questions that you have about the programs in here, and then I'll be right back. I'm going to play this, but if it doesn't work, I'm going to play this, but if this doesn't work, then I'll be back in 2 seconds. So I guess I wanted to start asking you, what were your biggest struggles prior to joining the program?
You know, I was going around and looking for organizations. I was looking for help.
So I started looking up online. I really need somebody who's been through.
There's no access to any kind of services over here in Ireland. Googling stuff and trying to find something.
I joined because I had a 3-year-old autistic son.
So I knew I had to do something that I didn't know what to do.
Everything seemed to be waitlisted or just not available. To break it down to him, I had to have somebody break it down to me.
And that really got me worried. It got my husband worried, thinking, okay, we need to speak to a PD.
I think my biggest struggle
All right,
is
everybody.
understanding their potential.
Just wanted to
I
check on the
actually
kids.
didn't know.
We're good to go. All right, let's answer some questions now. Actually, before we get into Q&A, let's do our first raffle. Jen, are we ready to do a raffle?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a raffle first. Let's answer some questions while we're doing it. How much is the last combo? So the combo, the combination of Champions for Our Children with viewer access to Next Level Autism is $3,997 or $397 a month. Okay, and the idea here is that we're gonna spend 90 days to get the big 3 done, and then we're gonna spend the rest of our time getting you through to the Next Level Autism, making you a full-fledged member. And Karen, how is that? Karen, you're going to get some swag. We're going to give Karen a Champions for Our Children mug. I hope Karen doesn't already have one. Karen, you have to mess with Karen. I want everybody to meet Karen. Karen is a great grandma, and she is a practical graduate of the Champions for Our Children Masterclass, pretty much ready and rocking for Next Level Autism, in my opinion. I believe her great grandbaby, not her grandbaby, she taught her great grandbaby how to potty train. And he is now, I believe, starting to speak. So Karen, if you don't have a mug, now you're going to get a mug. All righty. So, and I just realized, I don't think I ever told you guys what the combo price was, or maybe I didn't say it enough. But anyway, the combo price, if you get Champions for Our Children, you're going to be an active member in there. You're going to join the combo if you don't have the big 3 done. And then you're going to get Champions for Our Children and Next Level Autism. That is $3,997. Or you can do the payment plan. That's $397 a month. Okay. Let's see here. What else do we have? Let's see here. What happens if the 3 doesn't happen in 90 days? Okay, that's a good question. So if you were joined Champions for Our Children and you're an active member, by the way, this has never happened, but I get this question, so I'm going to answer it. If you join Champions for Our Children to help your child get potty trained, get communication, stop problem behavior, and after 90 days, if it doesn't happen, you're going to stay until you do. I've never had this happen, by the way. If you're an active, you're coming on at least my calls. We have 3 to 4 group coaching calls. Champions for Our Children is an established program. It's been around for 4 years now. We've been doing it for a really long time. So if you're in Champions, you're going to see that you get 3 to 4 group coaching calls a week, sometimes even more. Sometimes we even have 5 coaching calls a week. There's more than enough support to get this done. But in the unlikely event that you come to Champions and you don't get what you need, you will stay until you do. And I will work with you personally to make sure you get to goal. But by the way, I've never had that happen. Any family that's joined Champions and has been active on the calls and did not quit and didn't stop showing up, after 90 days had everything that they came for. What is Champions for Our Children? So Champions for Our Children is my core group coaching program that teaches potty training, communication, stopping problem behaviors. Next Level Autism is what we're launching tonight. That's my brand new program. My study vault is empty, but that's going to change real fast. We're going to see how fast I build out that study vault of all of these courses I'm going to teach on different things, different next level skills. So Champions for Our Children is a program. We're going to work on the big 3. We're going to listen. The main goal for Champions was 90 days. Get in, get out. Let's get it done so we can start working on next level things. So we're going to get you, if you don't have the big 3 done, you don't have potty training done, you don't have communication done, you don't have problem behavior done, right? You're going to join Champions for Our Children. You're going to get the bundle. That's going to include Champions for Our Children, and it's also going to include Next Level Autism. Okay? The price for that is $3,997, or you can take the monthly payment option of $397. When you do that, you'll also get viewer access to Next Level Autism. So you'll kind of be like halfway full-fledged member of Next Level Autism, because you're going to get to see what's in the study vault. You're going to see what we're training on there. You're going to hear the calls. You're going to see the call recordings. You're going to be able to have access to them and see what we're working on. I want to incentivize you to say, listen, I know, you're in the trenches of teaching potty training. You're in the trenches of problem behaviors, of communication. But look, if you get this done, look what's waiting for you. There's no reason working together. Champions is such a strong program. There's so much support between me and my coaches in there. There's no way that if you're active in there, we're not going to get this done for you. And as soon as you're done in there, you're going to send me an email and say, Michelle, let's celebrate. I got the big 3. I'm going to even send you a gift. You get the big 3 done and get ready to be an active member in Next Level Autism. I'm going to be so excited to welcome you in there as a full-fledged member. Okay? Let's see here. So we're going to be sending an email out. We're going to send a couple emails tonight with all the information to join. So I see that some people here, parents, maybe grandparents are here and they want to share it with the family. An email should already be in your inbox with information on how to join. You can share that with them. We are in speech and just evaluated an OT. He's 33 months, no diagnosis yet. Not sure we're ready for one. We're seeing growth. How do we know? So listen. One of the newest members of Next Level Autism, I worked with her son when he was 18 months. He's going to be 5 this year, and we're going to talk about kindergarten placement. We're actually going to work really hard. He's at a point now where he's saying words, and now we've got to start working on. We think he might have apraxia, so we're going to start working on building the fine motor muscles of his mouth, and we're going to start working on really getting more words out of him, right? So the way I see it with her, when she started with me, she was very resistant to a diagnosis. Now, I know that may not be your situation here, but I said to her, I'm like, you know what, whether he has a diagnosis or not is inconsequential to me. I know I can help him. So if you have a child that you suspect has autism, or you have a child with a speech delay, or you have a child with problem behaviors, or you have a child that you're struggling to potty train, I believe my programs work for all children. But full disclosure, I'm an autism mom. Most of the families that work with me are parents of children with autism. That mom did eventually get a diagnosis. And she said, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have. She didn't realize not getting the diagnosis, because she had her feelings about it being like a label, was actually hurting her ability to give him access to a standard level of care that you get with an autism diagnosis that you don't get with anything else. So if I have families all over the world that are in the Champions for Our Children Masterclass, and I actually have some international families that have joined Next Level Autism tonight. But the way I see it is that whether you have a diagnosis or not is inconsequential to me. I'm here to help your baby, and I believe my methods help all children. I have children in Masterclass that have Down syndrome. I have kids with pandas, global developmental delays, kids with chromosome abnormalities. My shit works for everybody. All right, you got it, Karen. Your swag is coming to you. I need to know how to support my daughter and potty train my grandson. He was potty trained before, bathed and brother, and then totally regressed. Help. Listen, I want to talk to you guys about regression tonight too. Regression is not death. And somewhere in the autism community, somebody gave a definition of regression is death. Regression means I had a skill and lost it. But the principles of behavior mean that if I had a behavior and lost it, I can always get it back. It's just a matter of finding that path back. And if your daughter is struggling to get your grandson back to potty training, that's what the masterclass is about. So if you need potty training, you need to get those communication skills, you need to stop problem behaviors, that's what masterclass is all about. You take that bundle tonight and you'll get viewer access to Next Level Autism. We're going to sprint. We're going to spend the next 90 days getting the big 3 done so I can welcome you as a full-fledged member into Next Level Autism. How do you get them to have understanding? If I ask, how are you, she repeats me. This is a very good question. This is a Next Level Autism type of skill. So Jan, I'm going to give you a sneak peek on how to solve this. If we want better conversation, better advanced conversation skills out of our emerging talkers, we've got to ask better questions. If I brought my neurotypical son in here right now and I asked him how school was, he'd say, fine, good. I would get one-word answers. But if I want to have an engaging conversation with an emerging talker, right? And you got to understand, talking for our babies on the spectrum, it's not like, I wouldn't say it's difficult for her now, but it's not full on like monologues are not going to be her thing, right? She's going to get to the point. She's going to want to, she's a short and sweet kind of gal. It's gotten better over the years, but for the most part, even expressing emotions and things that she struggles with is our work, right? So what I do is I ask better questions. So instead of saying, hey, how was your day at school? I'm going to say, hey, who got in trouble today? What did you play at recess? What did Julia have for lunch? And then I get the chatter. Then it goes full on. She wants to tell me everything and anything that's happened, especially the gossip. They love the tea. Who got in trouble? Who had to go to they don't call it detention anymore. I forgot what they call it. They call it's something else, but some kids had to go to detention because they were bad in indoor recess. She told me that yesterday. Okay. So yeah, so when we're asking, when you want to have conversations and you want to have next level, like going back and forth, that dialogue, you have to be able to present better questions to get it. Okay. All right. It really works. Thank you, Karen. I think so too. Okay. Let's see here. How can I just sign up for Champions? So if you listen, the bundle is there for a reason. Tonight was really all about launching Next Level Autism. And I never launched it before, right? So I built my business on helping parents potty train, teach communication skills and stop problem behavior for children with autism. So Next Level Autism is a whole new bag of tricks, right? So I went to market with this and I realized something. I would talk about next level skills, and guess what? We're all, no matter where our kids on the spectrum, we're all interested in next level skills. So I knew tonight, even though tonight was about celebrating the announcement of this exciting new program called Next Level Autism, which is a membership, and I'm so excited about it. I know there's going to be people here that want that, but aren't ready for it yet. So that's why we're offering the bundle tonight. But if you do just want Champions, drop me an email at michelle@michellebrodgers.com and we'll see if we can work something out. But tonight is all about celebrating Next Level Autism and giving you an opportunity to join at a price that I will not have ever again. And this will be your price forever. As long as you're in the program, you'll always be with us. Okay, let's see. What age would you think a young child is ready for Champions element? Oh, Champions, we have children as young as 18 months. Actually 15 months, I think, was my youngest. And we have kids in there up until 21, right? Because potty training tends to be a problem, right? And communication skills tend to be a problem. I have a child in here now who's 13 and he has to have a root canal. Now that would be a next level autism thing, but I'm not going to we got to solve for that. That's an immediate need that needs to be solved. This poor baby might be in pain. So me and mom in Champions are working on getting him ready for the dentist. We want to do this without sedating him. I want to do as much as possible to give them an experience like any other child would have. So Champions is ready for children as young as 15 months. My friend who works with severe and profound students told me that I would probably be wiping my son's butt forever. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. He was number one down perfect, but when it comes to number two, many times he will go in his underwear a little and won't go to the toilet till prompted. Then I need to help him wipe. I know I need to work harder to get him to understand what to do for himself, but I felt very defeated when she told me this. Listen, people are going to say stupid shit to us all the time. It's not a problem until you have a thought about it. So listen, people say stuff to me all the time. People still say stuff to me all the time. My son likes to wear nails and he likes to wear makeup. And I was at his dance studio and he had me ask the teacher if during his dance competition he could wear makeup. And she said no. So I was like, oh, she said no, right? I didn't think anything of it. But then she took it upon herself to come up to me and explain to me that she said no because she didn't want to get questions from parents of 4-year-olds as to why a little boy was wearing makeup. Now, I was so shocked. It was like I got shot. I'm like, did she just fucking say that to me? Like that most insensitive thing, right? And I went home. I didn't even say anything. I got plenty to say, but I was so shocked that she said that to me. I went home feeling like I got shot. Probably exactly how you felt, Erin, right? But here's the thing. Calm down, and I thought about it. She's 25 years old. I looked online, men ballet dancers wearing makeup, and she just doesn't know any better. And I could choose to let that statement she said, which is really just something outside of my control. People are going to say stupid shit to us all the time, affect me in a way that I could have had him quit dance and maybe go to a different dance. But listen, I know she's a good person. She's just a young kid. She said something stupid, and I'm not going to take it personally. Right. And obviously each time somebody says something to you that makes you feel like you get shot, you're going to have to look at it and decide how you want to do you want to have a relationship with people like that? This is why forward thinking community is so important. Do you see what I'm saying? This is why it's important to be around people that are going to help support you and believe in your son. Not somebody who's going to tell you, oh, you're going to wipe his butt for your whole life. I mean, how's that going to make you feel? Right. If you buy it, this is the thing. I always call it biting the bait. Right. If somebody says something stupid like that and I feel a certain way, I just bit the bait. So now you have awareness. Erin, you bit the bait on what she said. That's not true. She can go pound sand. I know for sure if you join Champions, we get this done, and we'll have you in Next Level Autism probably within a month. If he's P trained and it's just a little issue with poop, we're going to solve for the poop. Welcome you into Next Level Autism. All right, we are in CFOC November 14th. Joined and grandson has had success with potty training. Yay! We had 3 weeks of illness that delayed things. Yes, life will life us. March 11th, woohoo! I think we should have been exactly at 90 days without the sickness delay. Not 100% yet, but truly unlocked so many things. Yes, Melly, this is what I'm talking about. She joined right before the new year. And listen, life will life us. That's why I say, listen, you can get it done in 90 days as long as everything's neutral. But don't worry, you've had access for 12 months. And I gave access. I went back. I've never done that before. When I sold it to Melody, it was 90 days. But I said, you know what? I'm going to be launching Next Level Autism this year. I know sometimes life lifes us. I don't want 90 days to be a deterrent because you have thoughts about it, right? If I sold you a 90-day program and we're going to sprint to get this done, you might not join. You might think, oh, that's not enough time and I don't want to invest money if I think I'm not going to be able to do it. So I gave you 12 months, but I don't want you to take 12 months. There's no reason why you can't get it done in 90. Up until January 1st, I've sold this for the last 4 years as a 90-day program. And anyone who's active in my program gets the result. And then you do 90 days in Champions, and let's get you full throttle into the Next Level Autism membership. I still want to do this, but I'm the only one at school and can't justify. I will share with grandparents. Yes, get resourceful, right? Listen, the universe is calling, right? If this is something that speaks to you, right? And you didn't know what this was going to be about tonight, listen, there's so much that you can walk away with tonight, Lorraine, right? So like if you can't do this tonight, and I said that in the slides, I'm going to say it again. If you can't join us tonight, I get it. But take what you learned tonight and start applying it. And here's the thing. We're going to do hard things. We're going to do radical responsibility. If this is something you want, the universe is going to challenge you and say, okay, you're somebody who does hard things. You're going to find your way. If you think this is the program that's going to help you, let's get creative. Let's see if you can find a way to do it. Show me you really mean it. Okay, awesome. All righty, let's see. Please don't listen to the negative talk. You can do it, and this program will get you there. Thank you, Karen. Let's see here. Karen's my biggest cheerleader. He has been speaking in full sentences without prompting at home and now has started to do the same at school. Melody, oh my goodness, 90 days, folks. She joined before the new year. Is this pre-recorded? No, I'm actually talking. Yay, Melody, congrats. I love it. Thanks so much for the mindset kisses. Let's see here. All righty. Struggle with number 2, but it's also helped the fact that I did not. Okay, well, I'm really behind. I didn't realize how behind I was. Okay, oh, here, I'm catching up. Let's see. Kristen Cleveland. My son is poop trained. We finally got his window down between 4 and 8. Should I do 3 minutes on or 5 minutes off? Kristen, you were in the program. Bring that to Ask Coach, girl, and we'll take it through for you. You are ready for. Do you think that will work? Yeah, I do. Let's see. What were you saying? Hold on, wait a minute. I'm just gonna answer it. My son is poop training. We finally got his window down between 4 and 8. Excellent. Should I do the 3 minutes on, 5 minutes off until we get the results? I truly believe once he connects the poop physically to the toilet, he will get it just like pie tree. Do you think that will work? Yes, I think that will work, but I don't even think you need to do that. Just start limiting his movement. Like I even say tether. If you know a poop is coming between 4 and 8, he doesn't leave your eyesight between 4 and 8. So you either limit his movements and just keep one, peripheral vision on him. So as soon as you see the look, the squat, the fart, you can immediately run him to the bathroom. Hi, Kristen Morgan. I see your message. Okay, sorry. Thank you. I had no idea. Oh, I guess I read it anyway. All right, last call for questions. How do you get to understand? All right, okay. I answered that one. Will this work for children 12 and up? Yes, I plan to have Next Level Autism. I think Next Level Autism, I said, is going to be till age 18, but honestly, Next Level Champions helps grown people potty train, 21-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 31-year-olds. I'm going to help anybody who wants to be helped. So yes, these programs are available for children as little as 15 months and as old as 31 and plus. I would take a 40-year-old who a mother might be done with doing diapers after 40 years old, and I will help you potty train them. We do not sell supplements in this group, no, but we do have a dietitian that may make recommendations. It is recommendations. It is not required, but there are certain things that I love that she recommends too. Do you work with parents with older kids? Yes, we have mastered the big 3. Welcome. You should belong in Next Level Autism, but now have new problem behaviors. She's 10. This is the thing. This is why I wanted to do Next Level Autism for myself too. She's 10 going on 11. That's my girl. My girl's 11. She'll be 12 in November. We're coming into the hormonal stage. We have to have a handle on our instructional control with our children and our parenting now so that we can manage that teen stage with the minimum amount of bumps. Maribel, you should be joining Next Level Autism. And when I talk about problem behaviors, I'm talking about problem behaviors that are like impeding on daily safety, impeding on quality of life. We've got a moody preteen here, a moody tween, and we're struggling to get advanced conversation skills, like maybe expressing feelings in a constructive way, and it's coming out and lashing out or tantruming or throwing stuff. I want you to join Next Level Autism. I think you just answered it. Well, I'm glad I did. Why are you pro ABA? Are people aware of the founder of his abuse against autistic people? All right, so there is this thing. There is this philosophy out there, and I'm not discrediting it. There is, ABA has been around, I don't even know how many years. And when it was first practiced, we hear from autistic adults that it was practiced in a way that felt like child abuse. Now, my personal experience with ABA has been nothing but a pairing relationship between therapist and child, and really parent and child. I believe behavior is the primitive language of all human beings, all species really. But just like you could have a bad doctor, a bad dentist, a bad teacher, you could have somebody who takes the principles of ABA and practices them in a negative way. But do we throw out the whole process of what a doctor would do, what a dentist would do, what a teacher would do because we had a couple of bad apples practicing it? No. And I'm telling you, I love positive reinforcement. I try to use it as much as possible. And I respect and hear the people who have had bad experiences with ABA, but that's never what I've experienced. And it's not what we expose our families to in the program. And by the way, I'm not formally ABA trained. I'm street trained. I call myself street trained. I learned, I had on the job training, just like all of you will if you join my program. But my BCBAs are teachers with master's degrees in ABA, and one of them is an adult with autism, and he runs up against this with autistic adults that kind of like get mad at him, like, why are you promoting this? Why are you even in this field? And he never had that experience either. So I want to change the thoughts around ABA. I do believe that there are probably people today that practice it in a shitty way, but so there also are doctors that probably do a shitty job too. We don't throw all doctors out. So we have to think about that with this as well. What if the big three don't get done in 90 days? In the unlikely event, that has never happened, by the way. The only time that doesn't happen is when you quit. I'm always there for you. I take radical responsibility to provide a program that is the best. There's no program like Champions. And I know for sure there's really nothing out there like Next Level Autism. But I take radical responsibility as your coach to provide you a program that's going to give you everything you need to sprint to get the big three done in 90 days. But in the unlikely event, this has never happened. Actually, I had one situation where a child had diarrhea, and we got him pee trained, and we couldn't get him poop trained. This is when I brought my nutritionist into Champions, because I'm like, something's up with his diet. We've got to get some professional help here. We fixed he ended up getting pie trained in like 4 months. Because once we got the diarrhea under control, we got him on a good diet. His poops were like peanut butter consistency what we need, and we got him officially pie trained. But in the unlikely event that you have the unicorn, everybody thinks they got the unicorn. Nobody has the unicorn. Everybody thinks they have the unicorn. Nobody has the unicorn, right? In the unlikely event that you do have a situation where in 90 days this doesn't happen, you're going to stay in the program until you do, even if it took you 2 years. And that's never going to happen. I'm telling you. And you'll have my personal support one-on-one if it don't get done. If you've been coming to the calls, you've been doing the work, and after 90 days you don't get what you came for, I'm going to personally handhold you to the finish line. There's no way this isn't going to happen. It doesn't happen. It does not happen. I'm here for you. Okay. All right. Alrighty. I'm very inspired. Well, thank you. Somebody said I'm a great presenter. Thank you. My son is very prompt dependent. Is this classified as a problem behavior? No, I don't think a prompt. Listen, the good thing about prompts are like a blessing and a curse. Prompts are great because how I teach Juliana everything, including Next Level, is through drills. We drill everything. And how I have to drill sometimes is by prompting. So no, I don't consider that a problem behavior. We're gonna make your child less prompt dependent. So prompts are going to still be a part of Next Level Autism, but then we fade them. If you do prompting correctly, you use it as a tool and it doesn't become a crutch. Okay. Let's see here. My 5-year-old is potty trained, but I still need to clean him up. What do you think? Next Level Autism, I will help you to get the wiping done. Listen, by the way, I have a 10, no, not even 10, I'm aging him. I have a 9-year-old neurotypical son. He will piss on the lid of the toilet still, and I will find skeeters in his undies. Okay, so just letting you know, boys, even neurotypical boys, Skeeters in the undies at 9, but we will help you to improve the cleanup. But if he's fully potty trained, he's just having a problem with wiping, let's just fix that in next level autism. All right, last call for questions. All right, Arenol, he's 5-year-old potty trained, but I still need to clean him up. What do you think? Next level autism. I really need to work on communication. If he's got, if for communication, the baseline we need for next level autism, he's got to be able to one word utterances, or at least say like wah wah or water. I'll take you there. I backed it up a little bit. I think I said when I put the program together, I'm like, I want one word utterances. But then I have a couple of families in Champions, and we just got the kids saying wah wah and cook for cookie. I'm like, all right, go. I want everybody. All right, amazing. Love your energy. Appreciate the support. All right, that's it, guys. We're gonna do one more raffle before we wrap, because you guys have been such a good sport as I went through this. Let's do the raffle. We're gonna do a $20 gift card for everyone who's still here. Irini wrote, is problem behavior only if angry, headbutting and screaming? Is that next level autism? So how often is headbutting and screaming happening? Is it ruining his ability to learn and be productive in school and home? If it happens like that's his way of, like, when he's angry and he doesn't know how to express it, next level autism. If it's it's at a point where he can't like get his needs met academically and he can't be a quality member of the family, then we want to get you in Champions, and then we're going to get you done quick, and then we're going to invite you as a full-fledged member into next level autism. All right, so Ariana, I missed your first. Okay, 5 years old, I've seen to clean them up. All right, so you have, all right, so here's the thing. Aranola, he uses an AAC device. So what I would do with you, this is my intent, and I don't know if this is provocative or whatever. Jen, get the wheel of names up for everybody that's still here. Let's give them we'll do a wheel of names for a $20 Amazon gift card. What we're going to do here is that if a child has, what I do with teaching children to communicate in Champions is we figure out what topography, what bridge form of communication would be best for them. So sign, AAC, or PECS, right? Now your son already has AAC. Now my next question is he using it fluently? Is he also creating sounds, right? So if he's using that fluently, but he's not creating sounds, like let's say you say wah, 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 wah for water, and he doesn't say it back, then you're going to be in Champions, but you're probably not going to be there for long, because we're going to really build out his ability to say word approximations. We could get it done if you're active in the community. I'm telling you, there's no program better than Champions, and there's no program like Next Level. That's why I'm so excited. We could get this done in under a month, and then you'll be in Next Level Autism for the rest of our time together. Is not sleeping on time a problem behavior? If you're having sleep issues, we can deal with that in Next Level Autism, as long as they have the big 3. And not eating with spoons and forks, we can do that in Next Level Autism. Picky eating is still my issue. Holding a fork correctly is still our issue. Jen, are you here to do Wheel of Names? Let's see.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna do Wheel of Names. Anybody have last call for questions about Next Level Autism or the bundle tonight? So exciting. I'm gonna bring it up one more time for you guys to see it. You can see your options real quick in front of you. Here it is. So exciting. Oh, Wheel of Names for a $20 gift card. Marianne, awesome, Marianne. You have won a $20 Amazon gift card. Email Michelle at michellebrodgers.com. I'll put it in the chat for you. Give me your email address. Well, you'll email me, and I'll have your email address, and I will send you a $25 gift card. All right, so just to recap tonight, you have 2 options of support for you and your child. Let me pull it up here. Here we go. Here are your options. So you're going to pick the program that works best for you. Okay, if you have all of the big 3, right? If your child is potty trained, if he needs help wiping, go to Next Level Autism. But if he's potty trained and your child has communication, they could say one word utterances, or like wah wah for water, or for cookie, or baba for bottle, right? Then you belong in Next Level Autism. We're going to help you build out those conversation skills, and we're going to teach you all the next level things. All right. And that means no problem behaviors that are impeding on quality of life. If I have like a headbanger because he's frustrated, because he can't say I'm angry, or he can't express what's going on that's making you upset, you belong in Next Level Autism. That's advanced conversation skills. And that is $19.97 for 12 months. If you prepay the 12 months, you save, or it's $227 a month. Or if you don't have the big 3 and you want to work with me, you're going to get the bundle. You're going to be an active member in Champions for Our Children. This is the best program around to do this. I have a 100% success rate for getting potty training, communication, stop and problem behavior done. We're going to sprint. We're going to spend 90 days to get the big 3 done if you don't have it. And you're going to have viewer access. You're going to be a part-time member of Next Level Autism. You're going to be able to see what I'm coaching on. You're going to see what the trainings are. You're going to see what's waiting for you after you get the big 3 done. And I'm going to be so excited to welcome you. You're going to drop me an email and say, Michelle, we got it. We got the big 3. Let me have access to get on these calls as a full-fledged member, and we're going to invite you in there. It's going to be so exciting. So you're going to get 2 programs for $3,997. If you pay, you'll get 12 months of access for both programs, but you'll save if you pay the $3,997, or you can do $397. And if you join, you're going to also get my bundles. You're going to get my swag, my little Champions for Our Children mug, and you're also going to get my book club books. So it was a pleasure speaking to you guys tonight. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. We're going to send you an email out with all the information. And this was a pleasure. I hope this is enjoyable for everybody. Bye, everyone.